Al, it's time to once again return to the land known as Otome,
Atome Land.
where things are wild and the boys are plentiful.
Yep.
That's how it is every time. Yes. Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Season Anime Checkup OVA. It's a podcast where we have conversations about video games, anime, manga. Hello, I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc, Al, and Ladium.
Hello.
This is episode number 443, and we are discussing Battlefield Waltz. It's a very aggressive name.
Yeah. I'll talk about it when we get there, but there were some things in this I wasn't expecting because like the cover is really cute. But Battlefield Waltz, I should have known looking at the name of it that like it was going to be a little bit intense, I guess. But no. I was distracted by the pink.
Bamboozled.
Bamboozled. Ripperoni.
Ripperoni and pepperoni.
But I did. I played this game. And I'm here to tell you about it. We were looking at this before. The cast of this is stacked.
Yes.
Did we already start? Have we already started? Am I starting?
What do you mean?
I wasn't sure if you did all the intro or not.
Yeah, we're good.
All
You're
right,
good.
cool. Just checking. I was just ready to go.
No, you're
you know?
good. You're good. You go on.
All right, but yeah, the cast of this game is like super stacked. It's kind of wild. And also like a lot of these voice actors are voicing characters that are unlike other characters that they normally voice. Like if you told me that, which obviously I watched the English dub, but like if you told me that Giovanna from JoJo was voiced by the same person who voiced Nikke in this, I'd be like, that's a lie. That's a lie. Or that the same guy who voiced Victor Frankenstein voices Tifalit. Wouldn't have believed you. Weird. Just goofy. But if you told me Megami Ogata voiced a teenage boy in this game,
You're like, yeah, of course. Come on.
yeah, of course, duh, absolutely. But yeah, so this is a I'm a tough girl and I fight a Tome game, and you date a bunch of dudes in like basically a military school. So that's what you're getting yourself into. What I didn't know I was getting myself into is that I was emotionally compromised by Expedition 33. Claire Obscure. I was an emotional wreck after that. I was like, I need something a little fluffy. I need something that's kind of nice. I tried 100 line and I was like, I can't do this right now. Like I need something just soft.
You had your beret on. You're chomping on your baguette.
It's true. I did all those things. I had somebody in a banana hammock. You know.
Yeah. True.
It's I needed something that I was like, oh, I need something kind of fluffy to emotionally recover from that. I still haven't emotionally recovered from that, by the way. And then I like boot up this game and it's immediately like do. I'm in this village and I'm hanging out with my family. Oh God, there's invaders and my dad's dead. They killed the dad immediately and they're chasing after her and everybody's gonna kill everybody. And then they find out that there's like the invaders keep talking about like, oh, we need the cursed sword. We need the cursed sword. We know it's around here somewhere. And she's like running with her mom and like a little girl from the town. And these guys are like chasing after him. And she's like, I just want to fight back and defend everybody. Like, I know how to sword fight. And then the cursed sword shows up and is like, yo, hey, you want to fight? here we go. Let's merge together. And they do, and she takes down everybody. And then when she wakes up, she's like basically on trial. And they're like, so, you got the cursed sword, huh? Funny how that happens. We'll let everything slide if you just join our military academy that's for bright people that we want to fight for our country. He's like, oh, all right. I guess I'm doing that then. Um, so yeah, you get recruited to a school called Nirvana.
Kurt Cobain's there.
It smells like Teen Spirit. You are one of like two girls there. So y'all get to bunk together. What's her name? I already told you once and I forgot it already. Um, Yuriana. Yuriana is your roommate and your new best friend, and she has some really impractical armor. But she is the person who's gonna help you figure out this new situation they're in. And
She really does have some impractical armor.
it's so impractical, right? What is that? What is that?
Oh boy.
Who let that happen? And the girl's not gonna cover anything. It's almost as bad as Pash's armor. Like his armor is really impractical. It's like what are we,
Oh, this
what are
guy, yeah, tummy out.
what are we doing here? Um, but yeah, so you get to meet all your teachers. You get to meet a bunch of kings and queens. So the queen of your country is taking care of you. You get to meet the two kings of like the sovereign nations that are like adjacent. You get to travel to those and see what's going on. You get to hear about some politics. Um, you get to talk to the tavern owner and the town near Nirvana and make friends with them. And yeah, you just kind of are there now. And she very rapidly forgets that her dad just was brutally murdered.
Oops.
Except for in one route. She does kind of remember in that route, but she's kind of forced to remember in that route. I told you about that one. Um, but yeah, she's like, oh, cool. I guess I'm fighting and I gotta figure out this cursed sword. Also, there's a lot of pretty men around me, so sorry, Dad. She also just kind of forgets that her mom is like being held as like a ward of the state at this point. Like the queen's like, yeah, she's under my protection and she's staying in the instructor's quarters. And I'm like,
Normal.
are we gonna address this at all? No, we're not. We're not gonna address this.
I think this gal needs to get her priorities straight.
She really does. Like as soon as she gets into a school with a bunch of hot dudes, she's just like, all right, nothing else matters. Like, girl, chill. Have some chill.
No chill allowed.
And she's like, cursed sword, let's go. But she can't actually control the cursed sword. And it is basically haunted by a little kid spirit named Wilhelm, who you found out is Naruto.
Yeah, tell me about how young Wilhelm
Wilhelm.
is just
Yeah.
like Naruto and Gon from Hunter x Hunter.
Is that what are those shoes? I never get to see that far on the sprite, so I never saw those shoes before. What is that?
What are those?
What are those? He's just a grumpy little kid who's like always wanting to fight.
Hmm.
That's it. He wants to fight all the time and it's like, "Hey, can you start a war so that I can fight? That'd be cool, right?
All right,
Start a war."
but how many times does he ask you that he wants to become the Hokage and also says Date Bayo?
I don't remember hearing that at
What
all.
the heck?
I'm sorry.
Shaking my head.
You honestly should. Um, how in the world? Oh, I was like, say, do they not have Xiao on here? But they do. Um, he's like an informant in town, and he also gives you a lot of information on your love interests, which is interesting, I guess. Like he sells you reports on the love interest of like what's their favorite drink and what's their soap smell like, and it's like, brother, what?
Also got that tummy out.
He also got to tell me how there are multiple times in this game where characters are like, so why do you dress like a woman? And he's like, I I dress like me.
Can you really even say that when the other dude's armor is literally just this?
Which dude are we talking
The
about?
one guy.
Hash?
Yeah, him with his tummy out.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. I guess because he has painted nails. I don't know,
Shaking my
but
head.
for real, like it feels kind of like, ooh. Um, and also not lost on me that they are like making him basically from the fictional version of China. So it feels like a little iffy that they're just like, you're effeminate. It's like, oh, okay. All right. Because we have mostly European coded people, and then we have two people, one that's from China coded area and another from Japan coded area, which I was just explaining to you that um the Japan area is spelled Zipang, and with the accent it's pronounced Jipan, which is not even remotely subtle that it's supposed to be Japan. So there's that. Man, there's so many of these dudes that I'm like, you have legs?
Where did those come from?
Oh, because I've never seen your legs before. But yeah, so you get to know these people, you get to do a lot of fights. There's a little head named Richard in there. Um, you're learning a lot about the politics and the weird situation you got in yourself into with this cursed sword and all that. Um, Also, one of your teachers just like I'm trying to think of a nice way to put this, and I don't think there's a nice way to put this. Um, like the big scene before like you go onto a character's route is like all the characters coming together to like save you from um one of your teachers who says that he's like either going to make you his or kill you so that he can have the cursed sword. And he like makes your mom write a letter to you and like make you meet him in the middle of the woods. And I'm like, ooh, that's uncomfortable. But all the love interests come together and they're like, nah, get out of here. And he gets fired. He probably should have gotten more than fired, but there's that. But yeah, so you do have, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six dateable dudes in this.
6 dudes.
Um, and some of them are more interesting than others. Um, that's a polite way to put it, right?
Sure.
Um, but yeah, I one of my big things is that like Lan, the main character gal, is just like, where are her priorities? What is happening? Like she just doesn't seem to care about anything.
She's just going to get ready for a LAN party.
Oh,
Yuck.
dang. Um, so that was a little frustrating to me, and she like made some really weird choices at times and said some really stupid stuff that I'm just like, girl, Get it together. And she's like, what if don't get it together? All right, cool, great. Glad we had this talk. So I started with well, let me actually just do a little asterisk here real quick. I'm not gonna remember everything.
Oh
My memory right
no.
now is just shot because I've been super, super stressed out. So I'm gonna do my best to get through these, but there are definitely gonna be things that I don't remember. So just keep that in mind. I'm not gonna 100% tell you everything that happens here because I won't remember. With that out of the way, I started with Abel, who is this grumpy looking guy.
He does
He's
look
a
grumpy.
he is grumpy. He is basically the strongest student in the school. No one's ever been able to beat him. Um, he can beat like all the teachers. He's beat like kings of other countries. There's only one person he's ever lost to, and that will come up. He is terrible at talking to people. Just hot garbage at it. So bad. So, you know, you know who he reminds me of?
What's that?
He reminds me of Squall.
Never heard of him.
What the f
I hear he
like
dies
he
at the end of disc one, so
don't
I don't
don't
think he
don't
was that memorable.
don't you dare. Don't you dare. Um like he's a really strong dude. He's terrible at communicating with people, but like he's put into leadership roles pretty often and is actually very, very good at that. Um and he does try really hard to understand the protagonist, even though he has moments of getting like frustrated with her. I was like, yeah, this is like if Final Fantasy VIII was in a Tome game and I was playing as Renoa. Like this is Squall.
Yeah, but there's no dog here, so
You're right, there is no dog, which is a bummer. Um, it does also become unsquallish at certain points. So there is that. I don't think I'd consider him a tsundere because he hates everybody. He's just not good with anybody. What are those called? Like kudere or something like that? Does that sound right?
uh,
Um, I'm Googling. A character archetype known for their calm, cool, and collected demeanor, often appearing emotionless or stoic on the outside. They harbor deep affection and caring feelings, particularly towards the main character or the love interest. Yes, so kudere, that is who he is. He is not tsundere. You don't really have a tsundere in this, which is actually kind of interesting. That's somewhat rare. Um, yeah, he's just kind of a grumpy little guy who's trying to figure out like, wow, I have feelings. I like girl. This is
does not
wild.
compute.
What the heck? He's like, I just want to sit on bench and eat with girl, but also fight girl with sword. And like smooches her quite a lot. Like quite a lot. Which good for him, I guess. Um, but yeah, his arc is a lot of like he's strong. He's going to help you out in this fight, but da 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 da. There is a subplot of wow, there's someone in the school that may have been feeding information to this other country, and um, that they're betraying us. Whoa! So they asked Lan like, hey, can you try and figure out who this is? And she can't figure it out. She's too enthralled by all the pretty men to figure this stuff out.
Shocker.
Yeah. Um, so like once there's like a notification that they are being like invaded, and I cannot for the life of me tell you what the name of that country is unless maybe the world section will tell me. It starts with an R. Nope, doesn't tell me that. Maybe it does here. That's the story. Uh, conflict. Roma. Roma Empire. There you go. Um, Roma invades and they send their students out to go attack. Um, and you find out through like talking to Abel at one point, like the only person he's ever lost to is the king of that country. And he's like, yeah, by the way, that's actually my dad,
Sure.
but I hate him because my mom was a dancer and he abandoned her. And so that's lame, and I hate my dad. And there are several characters in the game that try and like correct it and be like, well, I don't know that he abandoned her. I think she just kind of left because, he really loved her and everybody wanted her. And, she got this bracelet from the king. And I'm like, I don't think this is really helping, but okay. So she's dead. And he has the bracelet still, but he's still mad at this king because he thinks that the king man abandoned him and his mama. Um, so he wants to take him down. They're on the battlefield. People find out, like, oh, that's your dad. And they're like, well, you must be the traitor, right? Duh. Um, he gets punched in the face. He just takes it. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm not the traitor, but like, if you want to get out your feelings, get out your feelings. Um, Richard just is a and tries to attack him at one point, like on the battlefield, even though like that's his side of the fight. Because Richard's like, I've never been able to take him down, and I want to take him down, and I thought that the battlefield was the way to do it. Brr, 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 brr. So they tell Richard basically just like sit and think about what you did.
Go sit in
Yeah,
the corner.
basically they're like, we're gonna tie your hands up and you're just gonna sit in the corner and think about what you did.
Okay.
Okay. Um, but the next day, I was like, I will prove that you could trust me. And he goes and he fights his dad. And depending on if he likes you a lot or not, he'll either win or he'll die. I mean, the dying thing is pretty self-explanatory. Like they stab
He
each other in the
loses
chest.
fight.
Well, no, they both stab each other in the chest,
I mean,
and
I
they
think
both
dying
die.
in terms of a fight like that means you kind of lose, regardless if the other guy dies as well.
I mean, true.
No one wins.
It's a lose-lose situation there.
Yeah.
But if he wins, the funny thing about this, and I'm pretty sure, like I don't know a whole lot about monarchy, but I'm pretty certain that it doesn't work this way. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, you know me, big monarchy expert over here.
Right, right. So he like basically like I was gonna say dismantles, that's not right. He disfigures, he makes his dad's sword arm useless. I don't know if he cuts it off or just like he does significant damage so he can't hold a sword anymore. And so his dad is like, all right, well, I give up, I guess. And then Abel's just like, all right, I'm the king of this country now.
I don't think that's how that works.
I don't either.
If that's how that works, anyone could just waltz into a place and be like, hello, I'm the king now. And everyone would be like, no,
No.
no,
No.
I don't think so, buddy.
I don't think that's how that works, right?
I mean, it's funny.
It is funny. It is very funny. But yeah, he just takes his dad down. He's like, I'm the king now. Um, So yeah, he just decides that he's the king. So they end their story with him like he's going to the country to like go and take kingly lessons, I guess. He's basically learning how to be the king because he's the king now. Um, and Lon's like, well, I'll stay, or Lan, I forget how to pronounce it. Um, he's like, I'm gonna stay at Nirvana and train. He's like, no, you queen, because I king. And he gives the bracelet to her.
This is how
And
royalty works.
I'm pretty sure. Also, they're like teenagers, so like, um, just imagine there's this teenager on the battlefield. It's like, I'm the king now. She's my queen.
Everyone just looks at him like, "Shut up, kid."
What are you doing? Get out of your diapers and go home. So his ending was absurd. I think that's a good way to put it, is just absurd. Um, but I didn't dislike him. Like I thought he was a fun character and I enjoyed his like personality and squallness, but I did think it was funny that he was just like, I'm king now. Sure. All right. You're the king now, kid.
Wild.
It is pretty wild. Um, okay, so then I went with Lustin, who is Justin with an L instead of a J.
You just flip the
Um,
J essentially.
basically, yeah. And I was like, we're really gonna name the same Lustin? Lustin? Sure. He is the he comes across, I'll put it this way. He comes across as the like typical like ladies man playboy type of character that like you normally get in Otome games,
Sure.
but he's not that. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll take the subversion of the trope. I like that. That's pretty cool. But he also did some things I was like, that's cool. That I don't love that. All right then. Um, because he is the second born prince. He is the spare, as you would say. Um, and he's just like, all right, I sneak out of class all the time and sneak out at night. And wow, there's this man who is like a vigilante who takes care of the town. Who could that possibly be? Not me. What are you talking about? Um, I'm out talking with the ladies. So yeah, as you can imagine, he is not actually chatting up the ladies and doing the drinking and all that stuff. He is running a vigilante group that is trying to take down the do-batters in town.
The do batters in town. That's what they call them.
That's what they call them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's in Nirvana to try and like become a better military leader for his brother, who is the one who's going to lead the country. He likes just kind of being a chill dude. He is like the second top guy at the school in terms of combat, so he's actually, pretty good at what he does. Um, but he sleeps in class and is a little weird guy. Um, but yeah, at one point, you like go to the tavern in town and the guy who runs the tavern's like, oh yeah, you should go wait downstairs and you know, Lust will be here soon, blah 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 blah, and like sends her down and Lustin's like changing and half naked and he's like, dude, why? you blew my cover. Now she knows that I am a vigilante. And, she's like, half naked. Hello, half naked. And then he's asking the tavern guy, he's like, you did this on purpose, didn't you? He's like, yeah, I did. All right, cool. Um, so you you as the protagonist end up joining his merry band of vigilantes, but you have to pretend to be a boy. Because they only allow boys in their group. Wow. So you go take down some bad dudes, and yeah, you get to like hang out with them and eat some sandwiches and things like that. They eat a lot of sandwiches in this game. But then it gets weird. Like I said at the beginning, it gets a little weird because like at one point Lan is like kidnapped and there's this man who's got her and he's also kidnapped why do I keep forgetting her name? Yuriana. He's also kidnapped Yuriana and he's also kidnapped Yuriana's boyfriend who is a historian. It's like, okay. So historian man is like tied in a bag and is suspended from the ceiling by his feet, and they're cutting pieces of the rope if you don't listen to what they're saying. And this weird little guy is like, "Hey, I want you guys to fight each other because whoever wins, I'm gonna take you as my woman, and I want the cursed sword." And blah 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 blah. Blah. And like, of course, this is his older brother. Like, duh. So, Lesson shows up and saves you, and you know, not gonna let creepy older brother have you. Yeah, like dude attacked her, like stabbed her through the leg and stuff, and she's fine, I guess. I don't know. Um, but it does turn out that like there's this like weird demonic entity called a Demos, and he's been um possessed by a Demos, and the whole thing that Lesson's trying to explain is like, hey, he's not usually like this. He's been possessed. Can we fix this? And they end up fixing that. But then his brother's like, I can't leave this country anymore. I'm going to go become a monk.
That's an
I,
extreme.
I'm gonna live in a monastery. And the king's like, yeah, that sounds good. You go do that. And now, somebody's got to take over the country, so it's gonna be Lustin. Woo! Woo! Um, there's a lot of like Cabadon stuff that happens in this. There's a lot of eating. I should also mention there's like a festival that happens in every route that like you go in like light lanterns and things like that, eat food with them. I forgot that. That's like one of the big dates, but it does happen. Um, but yeah, you end up like still working with him and running his little vigilante group, and he gives you this like um big blue crystal thing. He's like, "All right, you're gonna be my queen." She's like, "Ha ha, ha, yeah, sure." And then after credits, he's like, "So I was serious about that, right?" She's like, "What? Huh?" He's like, "Yeah, I was serious about that. I meant that you would be with the queen." She's like, kiss, finger guns."
That's how that
So,
works.
yeah, sure. Um, I don't remember his bad end. I really just don't remember it. I'm sure it was fine. I'm sure somebody died or something went bad. I don't remember. Maybe he ran away from the country. Who knows? I don't remember. But he was fine. I actually liked him more than I thought because I didn't expect like the Playboy guys are kind of like
Right.
but he wasn't really that. So it's fine. And then I went to the Pash route. Um, this dude feels like he should just be best bros with the main character and like that's it. Like they vibed really, really well, but I wasn't really sold on the whole romance thing. He's like the super high energy guy of the crew. Um, he has been struggling lately with his confidence. He has no
Have
confidence.
confidence.
No confidence. Um, and so he is from one of the other countries. He's from it's web.
Digroth.
Thank you, Digroth.
But I
Which is
digroth.
which is the fighting country. It's the country that likes to fight all the time.
Isn't that all the countries we've seen so far?
Well, they're specifically known for it. Like they all just want to fight.
Hmm.
Also they've got this really crazy hot lady. Um, her name is Ignis. What are those? You're not supposed to have legs either. Um, anyway, Ignis is a hot lady. And she's just constantly like trying to get on Pasha's case and he gets mad and calls her a hag and all that. You know that dynamic. And his uncle is the king, so he's pretty high up there in the ranking, I guess. But no confidence. So, yeah, he's sad because he can't figure out how to fight and because he's short and he basically says like I hate women.
It's rude.
Yeah. Um it's not a nice thing to say that you hate women. It's not don't love that. Um but basically like one of your first interactions with him is that like they're doing a physical on you because you have the cursed sword and he like walks in and you're topless and he's like, "Oop, oop, oop. Guess I like women." Um and they do this whole thing of like he runs off and she sees like blood on the floor and she follows the blood trail to try and find him to like take care of him. Ends up running into somebody. I think it was either Asuka or Nikkei or somebody like that. And they're like, "Ah, yeah, he had a nosebleed and I think he's fine." It's like, for one, if he's bleeding that much from his nose that he's leaving a blood trail, that's a problem. That's more than just yerp thing, you know? I don't know what that noise was. We're
Yeah.
ignoring it. You knew what I was implying, right?
Yep.
Right? He also introduces the protagonist to tacos.
Taco.
Taco. Yeah, they keep telling him like, "Hey, if you don't get your act together, you're gonna be put in the medics," which is the disgraceful squad. Nobody wants to be in the medics. So, there's that. He explains like how his warriors have like these marks on their skin that like they go out into the mountains at one point in their lives and like have to meet with some kind of like fighting spirit that becomes like one with their body and blah 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 and that like their mark is supposed to be like inherent and you should be able to see it and his is very faded so he paints his on whenever he goes into battle. So they go into battle because there's a skirmish that happens. And this part was infuriating, and I talked to you about how infuriating it was. Because um there's like this whole scene where like the battle's going one way and Pash is in charge of his unit and he's like, well, if we flank them, then we win this battle. That's an easy call. So he decides that he's gonna flank and that goes poorly. So they all have to like run in the fight and their teacher, Leonidas, is like, all right, I'll handle this. You guys get across this bridge. And so he stays on the bridge and then like throws the fire. Like he like has a flask on him, so he like pours out the liquor um behind him and then lights it on fire. And then he's like, "All right, kids, goodbye. I'm gonna fight them here." I'm like, why didn't he put the fire in front of him and burn down the bridge so that the guys couldn't come after them and still survive? Huh? I was so upset by that. The logic isn't logicking, right?
You were very upset by this.
But does it make sense to you?
I always put fire behind me and in front of me and all around me.
I don't think that's a good idea. Anyway, I don't think he should have died, but he did. And they're like, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot left of him. We were able to identify him by like some of the personal effects that we found. Pash does not take that well. He feels like it's his fault. So he gets sad boy hours. Um, so he does get moved to the medics and ends up being super pitiful sad boy for a while. Um, and then at one point, like you and him are like walking around town and like get kidnapped for like trafficking? Because sure. Um, and you like work together as a team to get free, and then he realizes like, oh man, I do have confidence. I can do this as long as we're working together.
Yay, confidence.
Yay, confidence. And they like make a vow that like the next time that there's a fight, like they're gonna do this together and that he's gonna give her his first kiss once they win. And then he's like, wait a minute. That sucks. I want to do that now. Can I do that now? So they do. Um, and then once they get ready to go to the next fight, like he realizes that his symbol is like solid. He's like, oh, does this mean it's working now? And then he like paints one onto her as like I guess affection symbol. I don't know. Anyway, they go into fight. He finds the guy who claims that he killed Leonidas. Leonidas took his eyeball though, so like that's pretty cool. Good for him, I guess. He died, but
Free eyeball.
free eyeball. But yeah, so Pash is like, I got this guy. Let's go. So yeah, he fights him and he wins. Everybody's happy because he's a man now in the world of his country. Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Um, and so he decides, like, I'm not going to go back to my country. I think what I'm going to do is stay here and be a teacher. So he stays to be a teacher. And Protag's just there because, she has her cursed sword she's still got to deal with. Again, he's fine. I didn't dislike him, but I didn't like him either. They didn't really address the whole like I hate women thing well enough that he just kind of forgot it once he got a boner. So that was annoying to me. But uh, you know, whatevs. It's fine, right?
Hmm.
Uh-huh. So then dated Nike, who that is spelled like Nike. So I kept reading it as Nike the whole time. He is a quiet, shy boy. He says that he doesn't like to fight. He's not good at it. That his family put him there, and they have connections, and so like that's why he's there. But he's not good at fighting, so he's in the med unit, which, as I mentioned earlier, is the shame unit. No one wants to be there. But he likes to go out into the forest and like get herbs and stuff. I'm sure nothing weird is going to happen with this man.
Nope.
Nope. Not anything weird at all. So, um, some of his route is Protag being like, "Hey, what if we train together? Like both of us are on the medical team, so like we'll train together and you'll get better at fighting." And doesn't entirely work out. He does get injured at one point and like Protag bandages his hand, and then like the whole route he has that bandage on his hand, which I'll explain in a bit. Don't let me forget. Um, but yeah, they hang out, they eat sandwiches, they eat bread. There's an old lady that makes bread and jam in town, and they go and get bread and jam together quite often. And he's like, I want to learn how to make this because this is good. This is so good. Um, but there are many times throughout his little route that he's like, "Hey, by the way, don't go into the forest. It's bad. There are snakes. Don't go in there." And she asks like, "Well, what about you?" And he's like, "I'm immune to snake venom, so it's no big deal." And I'm like, "Oh, something is going on with that guy because you're just not immune to snake venom. That doesn't happen."
Normal things people say.
Normal things people say. And also, he just keeps bringing back like weird butterflies on his body. And I'm like, hmm. At one point, the protag does get bitten by a snake. And Nikkei is just like, all right, hold on a second. And just like sucks the venom out.
Slurp.
And she's fine. Yeah, I was like, okay, that's just an excuse to have this man licking on her leg. Um, But yeah, he learns how to make the bread and they're hanging out and they like each other. And then, oh no, she's in town and it's raining and she sees one of the teachers get murdered in the street and the wind catches the hood of the person and it looks like Nike.
Oh no.
And she's like, there's no way. It can't be him. Why would it be him? That's silly. He's not good at combat. How could he be an assassin?
Assassin.
Assassin. Um, hey, turns out
Oh no.
he's an assassin.
No.
Yep. So again, you're told like, by the way, there's somebody who's like feeding information to that country. So remember that whole plot of like, hey, there's a traitor in our midst from Abel's route, like that comes up again here. It wasn't hard for me to figure out like, yeah, something's going on with this guy. They're not real subtle with this plot twist. Um, but yeah, you find out like he has been feeding information to that country, and he's basically like an orphan who was like put into this like I don't want to say assassin school. That's not right, but like training to be an assassin. And he just kills whoever he's told to kill, including the protagonist's dad. she gets over that so quickly. And I'm like, homegirl, have some kind of like self-worth. This man literally killed your dad. Like, slit your dad's freaking throat. Like,
Nah.
and she's like, well, you were told to do that. It's not like you wanted to do that. I'm like, girl.
Well,
Girl.
I guess it's not as bad. You were following orders. I mean, I guess that makes sense.
It's like, he still killed your dad. What do you mean? And this is what I mean by she was annoying the hell out of me sometimes. I'm just like, how? How do you just like get over the fact that this man killed your dad? But yeah, she stumbles upon him in the woods and he's like covered in blood and has just killed a bunch of the like guys from the other country and she's like, "So there's a lot of dead guys here." And he's like, "Yeah, they were coming to get you. I didn't want that. So I murdered them." It's like, oh, okay.
I did it out of love.
Yeah, that's basically what he implies.
Ha 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 ha.
Yep. And then when he's telling you all of this, um, he holds up his hand that's got that bandage on it. And he's like, "This is the first time anyone's actually treated one of my wounds. I've always had to do it myself. And so this meant a lot to me. You mean a lot to me." And then he slits his own throat. And keep in mind, this is the like good ending.
Quote unquote good ending.
Yeah. So yeah, he like ends up smooching you at one point, but anyway, he's dying, and then Naruto and your sword's basically like, "Hey, so I'm fading away. My power is kind of sucky right now. I could save him if you want me to, but I'll go away forever." And she's like, "I don't want you to go away forever, but I also kind of have the hots for this man to kill my dad. So, like, could you do it?" So he does. And he's gone. Little Wilhelm's gone forever, and you lose the cursed sword. But, oh man, Nikke is alive, I guess. Ooh.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, he like goes into the final fight with you. Nobody trusts him, which like understandable. I wouldn't trust him either. He ends up like killing the like king dude from that country. Does he get to declare that he's king now? Because that's what Abel did.
I mean, you have to like pronounce it. So.
Oh, right. Well, he found out like, well, I'm getting exiled from this country and I'm getting kicked out of Nirvana because, I'm an
Shocker.
assassin and I also killed a teacher.
Shocker.
So, he's like, well, I'm gonna take this boat and I'm gonna leave and go to a different country and I'm gonna start a bakery. And so Protag goes with him because she's like, I can't be without you and I want your bread all the time. And they do a smooch.
Girl, get better priorities.
She has the worst priorities in this route. It was so frustrating. Like, she was infuriating. How do you just like get over the fact that this man killed your dad? And not even like an accidental kill. Like, he assassinated your dad. What? Like, I don't care how good the bread he makes is.
Well, it wasn't personal. It was strictly business, so.
Yeah, but like. somebody also gonna like date a former Nazi and be like, well, he was just following orders. He's such a nice guy. Look at this bread. It's like, no,
Uh,
no, no. Where's your morality? Where is your sense of like familial attachment? Where's anything? Like, girl, do you not love yourself?
no,
What is happening?
I don't think she does.
I was so mad. Like, there's no way. There's no way if a dude's like, oh, by the way, I killed your dad. But the whole thing is that he had promised earlier in the route, like, hey, if I ever find the person who killed your dad, I'll kill him for you.
Psych! It was me.
And so at the end, he's like, well, I did tell you that if I ever found the person that killed your dad, I'd kill him for you. Here I am.
Glut.
It's like, oh, which also like, he gets revived, so I guess it's fine or whatever. But like, that's also a really selfish thing to be like, what if I just kill myself in front of you? It's real up.
Yep.
This guy's up.
Yep.
What the hell? So anyway, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Nikke, you exist. Unfortunately. So anyway, let's move to Tifalit, which is a weird name. It makes me think of like a tiny Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. Tifalit? You know?
Small Tifa.
Small Tifa. Yeah, this guy. Gotta get this out of the way. Grown ass man.
Boo.
Yep, don't love that. So he is the pretty boy in town and he runs like a fortune teller shop and all the women throw themselves at him and he turns them down all the time. But then like people who do confess to him, like bad things happen to them. Like the very first time you meet him, like he gets like thrown to the ground and is like bleeding and he's just like, it's fine, I'll just lick it. It's all good. Like, what? What? Huh? But he is a mage. He's a guy.
He's a guy.
He tells you multiple times whenever you talk to him, like, yeah, I don't really care about anybody because I just want to die. It's like, oh, good start to this relationship, I guess. Sure. um yeah, he's besties with Jaleh. They just chill out around town and Tifalet's like, this little kid, what are you about? What are you about? And then like overnight somehow just falls in love with you and it's still really out of nowhere that this happens. Like he talks to you a few times and she's basically like, yeah, like I'm not in love with you. Like I don't have the hots for you immediately or whatever. And he's like, wow, a woman who doesn't want me? I want her.
Ugh.
It's like, oh, okay. You're one of those characters. Great. Great. So, he like takes her to do some like stargazing and all that, which that's cute. Stargazing is a nice little date. Um, but he's got that vibe that he's the kind of guy who would like put you in a cage. You know? He's that kind of dude. which is unfortunate. But yeah, his route, whole thing with him is that like the protag delivers the special kind of flower to him. He hates that flower. He thinks it's terrible, blah 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 blah. But he uses it for medicine. So, like that's how they have their excuse to like talk together and all that fun stuff. Um, and he's just really, really put off by that particular flower. She at one point like runs into him like out by the tree, and he's just kind of like staring at it and won't respond to her and then just disappears. Like poof, gone, ghost type kind of thing. She's like, "Huh. That's weird." So she runs back to town to see like is he okay? Is he there? Um but also like he before he disappears, she realized like, oh, the tree is withering and that's bad because we need these flowers. And so she wants to know like, hey, is there something funky happening here? And there's this I forget he calls himself like a physician of some sort or whatever. I don't know. He's a guy that works at the school. He's not a teacher. He's not affiliated. Um, what's that man's name? Mephisto. I don't know if you found Mephisto.
Uh-huh.
Uh, health physician in the infirmary. So, what's on your pants? These people shouldn't have legs. What is happening?
Do you like how he
Um,
wears a ring over his glove?
bro, I didn't even notice that. Why does he do that? Why does he do that? But she does go talk to Mephisto and is like, hey, this seems bad. And he's like, oh, it is. It is bad that those are withering. It's a sign of bad times to come. Um, there was also a point earlier in the route that I totally forgot to mention that like Protag and Yuriana's historian boyfriend and Tifalit like go into this like crypt type thing that's under the school because there are rumors about like hearing voices in there and they kind of want to know what's going on. And Tivalit's like, there's a seal down here, like a magic seal. That's weird. And then Mephisto shows up and is like, hey, you're not supposed to be here. You should probably go. I'm sure that's not going to be relevant or anything in this route. Yay. So anyway, the flowers are withering. She goes back to check on him. He's like, "Hi, I'm here. I'm in my fortune telling place. Here's a ring because I'm in love with you." And I'm like, all right, I guess. Um, so the whole twist of this whole thing is that one, Mephisto is a demon. So there's that. Um, Tifalit was the prince of the country. The current queen is his sister. There was an invasion at one point, like 100 years ago, and some of those like Demos guys were like gonna basically take over everybody. And so um Tifalit makes a deal with Mephisto to like become the seal on the like Demos invasion. And so he is that seal that's down there, like the real version of him. And it's weakening. Why do you think it's weakening, Jared?
He's old.
Well, he is old. That's true.
He's being a creep.
The one thing that he had asked for when he became the seal is that he wanted to have like a phantom basically that could check on the town and be a part of it, but that like no one could get close to him. That like everybody's supposed to forget him and all that. And his damn phantom went and got attached to somebody. And so now the seal is breaking because no one's supposed to get attached to him and he's not supposed to be attached to anybody. So,
What a
uh,
fool.
what a fool. So, yeah, the seal is breaking and there's this whole thing of like she basically says like, "Well, I'll just stay down here with you. I'll be part of the seal." And he's like, "No, that's stupid. What are you talking about? Don't do that." Um, which then he later says like, I really was thinking about it because it would be really nice to like keep you caged up with me and not have anybody else look at you. I was like, told you you're the kind of guy who's gonna put you in cages. I knew it. I knew it. um, I forget how it works out. Basically, they're able to work out a deal, um, where they're able to be free together, and yeah, sure. He's able to come out. He is now a free prince, and the Demos are sealed somehow still, and I don't remember. It doesn't matter. The queen's like, my brother's back! Yay! Mephisto's like, humans are weird, which is true. Um, in the bad ending, he does actually just have her with the seal, and that they're just the seal together. Great. Woo!
Woo.
Which again, like the voice actor doesn't normally voice act characters like that. It's kind of wild, but yeah. Anyway, that's him. I didn't like him. He was pretty, but that's about it. I'm telling you, every time I get the vibe of like, you're gonna put me in a cage, I'm like, I don't like you. Go away.
Gotta run.
Danger, danger. um, Unfortunately for Lan, she has no sense of any of that because she'll just freaking marry the guy that killed her dad. So, no self-preservation whatsoever in this girl. So after you do all of those, then you can open up the Ancient Chronicle, which is a sealed book that tells you a little bit more about the cursed sword. Oh, the cursed sword is what takes the seal. Wilhelm is like, hey, my strength's weakening. This sucks. I'll be the seal. And so that's how everybody gets free. That's it. Got it. Forgot about the cursed sword for a minute because the game forgets about it all the time. Yeah. So anyway, Ancient Chronicle tells you the story about it. Basically, there was this guy and he liked to fight and he fought a lot. And at one point he encounters this fortune tellery kind of guy who's like, here, you should have this sword. It's enchanted. And he takes it and he fights a lot. And then he dies and then he gets absorbed into the sword. And as his power was being used, he like kept getting younger until he looks like the Naruto version of himself. But through the power of Atome, if you go through all that, then you get to do the route where he's not a child. He becomes an adult somehow. Oh, also it's revealed that Mephisto is the one who made the cursed sword. Just for funsies. He thought it'd be fun to see how it went.
You know.
Demons, man. So there's zero explanation on like how he becomes the adult version of himself. Just not a single bit of explanation. Um, but yeah, he's I say adult, he's still like a teenager basically.
He's older.
Um, older. He's not a child. How about well, he's okay. No, I'm still gonna say the rest of these people are children. Um,
He's not a tot.
yeah, there you go. There you
Not a
go.
little
That's a good way to.
kid.
He's not a little kid. Um, he is more of your tsundere type kind of guy. But he is like, I want to fight everything, and also like, I don't care about any of you guys except for her. I kind of like her. But he shows up and is just in her bed, and Yuriana's about to straight up murder him for like showing up in her bed, which like, good roommate there. Strange man in your roommate's bed. Try and spear him. That works. Good job, girl. She has more of a sense of like survivalism than Lan does. Um, but yeah, so that's his thing. He wants to fight. That's it. He's mad because there's no war. He doesn't understand the whole idea of using a sword to protect. He only understands the idea of using a sword to fight. Um, he also um has just a flute that he found on his body, I guess. Like when he woke up and he's like, "Hey, this is kind of weird. I don't know what it is, but I know a little bit of this song. I'm really not good at it, but here, you can have this flute." And also he cries when he has the flute. So she takes it and she's like, "Oh, okay. I don't know how to know I don't know how to play the flute, but I can think about it." And so she goes to like the harbor and starts trying to play it and then realizes like, "Oh, I can play this perfectly. That's weird and interesting." Okay. Um so, it's mentioned to her like, "Oh, well maybe in your previous life you knew how to do it." Interesting. So, she keeps it around. They end up having to like go to a skirmish and Wilhelm's like, "Hey, I get to kill people. This is cool." And then kind of goes out of control, so nobody wants to be around him anymore. That's bad. Um, so he's kind of going through it, I guess. You find some like things that he's been doing around town, like helping people, helping this one little kid learn sword fighting. You go to the festival with him, sure, like all these normal things that you would do. He also like dances with you, which is kind of cute. He's like, "Yeah, I used to be a knight. Like I was a knight in my previous life. I know how to do this. Let's go." But through all this, Lan's been having like these dreams where she sees these stories with somebody named Sapphire, and she also sees Wilhelm there, like either protecting Sapphire or arguing with Sapphire, doing all these different things. Sapphire playing the flute, and she's trying to like piece it all together of like what is going on here. And then Kid Wilhelm comes back and he's like, "Well, I guess my powers are fading. This kind of sucks." And so he's staying away from everybody, including Lan. And she's trying to like piece everything together of like why is his power fading? Um, why am I having all these dreams? This is sucky. And she ends up like going into the woods at one point to get into a fight with the guy from Ramua, whatever the name of that country was. And she's fighting with a cursed sword, which is, not powered up because Wilhelm's going through it. And she, well, first Asuka puts up like the coolest fight for you. I was like, bro, why aren't you dateable? Like he just refuses to go down at certain points. He's like trying to protect you with everything he has. And then he gets stabbed through the leg, so he's kind of down. Oops. And then Land gets attacked and adult size Wilhelm pops out and has his sword and he's like, I get it now. I understand what it means to use a sword to protect because I got to protect her because I like her. Yay. Um, and he explains this whole thing of like the guy from Ramoa is like possessed by the demos of a man who betrayed me when I was alive, and he ended up killing Sapphire, and yeah, it's a whole thing. But he ends up realizing like Sapphire kept telling him like you should use your abilities to protect, not only fight. And he does have the realization of like Sapphire was pretending to be a prince, but was actually a princess and was a like skilled fighter and played the flute and all that. And Sapphire like comes to Land in a dream and basically is like, all right, well, you're in charge now. Take care of him. Sure, I guess. Um, but yeah, it turns out you're like the reincarnation of Sapphire, who is also just like a character from Princess Knight. So that's a weird tie-in. I didn't realize that like this was tied to like the same company that did that.
Yeah.
But it is like that's the whole thing is that Sapphire is from Princess Knight. But yeah, she's the reincarnation. And so he realizes that he can protect, but the cursed sword breaks, but he is free of it now. So he is no longer cursed. He can just be a regular guy and romance the hell out of you, I guess. Woo!
Woo.
So yeah, that's the gist of this game. I probably missed some stuff. Is there anything that you want to know or are interested in from looking at any of these characters or any of the things that you see that I gave you?
Datebayo.
That didn't happen.
No.
I'm sorry. There's also so many boobies out in this game, like man boobies. Like if you look at like Wilhelm's adult thing, and then I think Lussen's got his boobas out all the time. I'm like, why y'all just chest out? And then there's like a final art that you get that Abel's got his out. There's one where Tieflit's got his out. I'm like, everybody's just chest out here, I guess.
Everyone's got to show off the booba.
They're showing off the booba. I'm like, all right, well, good for you. I guess if you got it, flaunt it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. It was an interesting game.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Let's rank it.
Let's rank it.
Let's see here. This will be game number 48 on Al's official ranking of Otome. Where would you like to begin?
Let's start at 40.
Number 40. Is this better or worse than Love Letter from Thief X?
I'd say it's better than that.
Is it better than Charade Maniacs?
I think so, yeah.
Is it better than Radiant Tail Fanfare?
Yeah.
Is it better than Mr. Love?
Yeah.
Is it better than Joe Star Struck?
Sure.
Is it better than Nord9 Varcommons?
Yeah.
Is it better than Pio Fiore Episodio 1926?
No.
All right. Our new number 35, Battlefield Waltz. Waltz.
Waltz.
There you go.
I didn't get as much fluff as I needed after my Expedition 33 suffering, but uh, you know,
It do be like that sometimes.
It do be like that sometimes.
So yeah, that is Battlefield Waltz, and that's gonna do it for us this week.
The moral of the story is have some respect for yourself, and if a man says he killed your dad, don't date him.
Yes. All true.
Yep.
So yeah. If you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonalanimeCheckup.com or sac.co, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts, like Jared Now Watch. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. Follow us on Blue Sky, seasonalanimeCheckup.com. You can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, A Critical Analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, Hot Tubs, and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And get sports on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. Buy us a slice of pizza. Get access to unedited versions of the podcast early, our monthly exclusive Patreon podcast, and a whole wealth of other bonus content as well. Next week, we'll have, hopefully, not content about trying to date someone who killed your dad.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Hopefully not.